now for something just a little different on your Friday night news. The announcement by Pioneer Foods a few weeks ago that they would be discontinuing their fish paste brands, Redro and Pecks Anchovette, have been met with almost panic buying. South African fans of the much-loved sandwich spread have flocked to stores around the country to get their hands on the very last bottles before they disappear off the shelves for good. Well, if you remember correctly, the Redro brand found renewed popularity back in the 1980s because of a certain advert featuring a little boy naming everyday objects after his beloved spread. Let's remind you of that advert.
Rudy, what's your doggy called?
It's called Redro.
And your pussycat?
It's called Redro. My tricycle's also called Redro.
Why do you call them all Redro?
I call everything I love Redro. Because I love Redro. Don't love Redro.
Yes, and it makes you big
and strong.
Redro fish paste. It's everything you love.
Bit of an Oprah Winfrey moment because that little boy is now all grown up. His name is Shaun Kramer and he joins us virtually from Cape Town. Shaun, thank you so much for joining us, and with thanks to our friends at Cape Talk Radio for putting us in touch with you. A different look at what has been panic buying of beloved brands. What do you remember about the process that ended up with you being in this advert that became a household saying for so many years?
Hi, Marcel. Yes, it's been quite a long time, actually. I mean, it's about 40 years ago. My mom was at a birthday party with me, one of the kids' birthday parties, and there was a scout there from Joburg, and she said, we'd like to use your son. Obviously, I had no say in the matter, but I went along with it, and I got free toys. Apparently, I got some money for it, and I got a lot of fish paste.
And of course, the next question is, did you even like Redro? Because when you make adverts like that, you end up having to eat a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Initially, I didn't like it. In fact, I couldn't stand it. So there I was.
It's okay.
I'm going to make Amy eat a lot of Redro if I can find some more cans.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't like it. And I remember You Magazine came along and then actually wanted to sue my parents because I said I didn't like it. So I think that's when my lifetime supply of it was kind of kiboshed, and that was the end of it. But I believe Cape Talk are going to send me a can very kindly.
Yes, and I know who the person is that promised it, so I'll sit on his head to make sure that that does indeed happen. What do you remember about that time? Because that advert played for a very, very long time, and it became a saying. Even now, speaking about it, colleagues were saying, oh, I remember that advert. Can you remember people coming up to you and saying, reciting the words of the advert to you?
A lot. So a lot of people, not like an ad would call me Rudy. They would call me Redro. Sometimes they would call me Wedwo with a lisp. And I even recall how they wanted to change the packaging, because sometimes it would say Wedwo, other times it would say Redro. And I think there was even an advert based on that. It bothered me a bit, but in the end, I don't think it bothered me too much. But I didn't want to be called by my own name.
Dad.
Yeah. And did you actually have a speech impediment, as it were, as a child, or was that something that you put on as this newfound child actor?
Right, yeah, no, I'm not that talented myself at 3.5 years of age. it was a real lisp. In fact, maybe it's genetic, because my 5-year-old, who I hope is actually sleeping at the moment, does have a lisp as well. So maybe she can do Redro too when it comes on.
And last question, do your kids eat Redro?
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, let me ask her. Maybe she should answer it.
Okay,
there we go.
Amy.
Amy, do you eat Redro?
haven't tried it yet. I
Oh.
have not tried it yet.
Well, we're going to have to make
She will. She hasn't tried it.
we're going to have to make a change to that because your dad is very, very famous because of Redro. So hopefully you'll get to try it. Shaun Kramer and little Amy, thank you so much for your time this evening. I think you put a smile on so many people's faces tonight.
I hope.
A bit of nostalgia on a Friday night. And